What's up, guys? Andrew from The Few. Today we're going to be going over our gear for the 2025 turkey season. Uh, U season just wrapped up, so I'm going to be taking the kids' stuff out of my kit and repacking for the regular season. So here we go. All right, guys. Leading off, the first piece of turkey gear you're going to need is a shotgun. I've got two that I'm going to be using this year. I have this 870 Remington Express Magnum. It's chambered in 3.5, and then I also have the same gun in a 20 gauge that I've had since I was, I don't know, 10 or 11. I use this one when I'm hunting closer to the truck, and I can reach out and touch one a little bit more. When I don't have to pack it quite as far, I use the 20 gauge when I'm going to be on foot all day. So we'll go over some of the pros and cons of that in a little bit, and moving on. This year I'm pairing my 12 gauge 870 with a Kix GT 665 choke tube. It's a turkey choke designed by Kix. We'll go over why I chose that in a little bit. I suggest that when you buy your shotgun, you test the factory full choke that should come with it, as well as a couple other full chokes and or super full chokes, and find out which one patterns the best with your shotgun. There's nothing like getting a bird in range and missing because you don't know where your gun hits, so do yourself the due diligence to test your turkey loads and your chokes to make sure your gun's hitting where you want. Moving on, we have my calls. Yes, I know this is a Velo wintergreen can, but if I open it up here, I'll show you. This is what I've used to store my turkey calls this season. It works in a lot better for me than the little plastic things they come in, because I just stick this in my cargo pocket and I know where the hell it's at. There are a million options for turkey calls out there. I prefer reeds and now this pot call. They take a lot of practice, a lot of time to get used to them, but you can make a lot of turkey noises with them. For people just starting out, I recommend there's little egg push button calls. It's so simple. You just push on the end and it yelps and clucks and does all the noises you need to do, or even a wooden box call. But as you start playing with these things more, if you're an elk hunter, you're probably familiar with how reeds work already, even maybe a predator hunter. The pot call takes a lot of time and practice, but once you do, you can really sweet talk them. Got a couple different strikers here for it as well, just to get some different sounds out of that call. But as far as beginners go, I would suggest looking into push button or box calls and things of that nature, and then moving up to the reeds and pot calls later after a couple seasons. Next is my field glasses, or my binoculars. They stay in my kit pretty much year round. Essential item to have while you're scouting for birds, looking for access, trails, just looking at other wildlife in the area. I had these in my hand pretty much our whole trip during youth season. So good set of field glasses, always have on you. Next up, we've got a Write in the Rain notebook and the accompanying pen that goes with it. This is something I've had in my kit almost every day since my time in the Marine Corps, almost 20 years ago, and my time in law enforcement. It's essential for leaving notes, messages, emergency situations, marking a trail. There are 9 million uses for this, and there's no reason not to have one. It takes up no space and no weight. Next up, we've got my knives. All right, I follow the rule of 2 here, and even the rule of 3, because that one set is kind of a 2-pack. The rule of 2 is if you have one, you have none. If you have 2, you have 1. In the heat of the moment, you're always going to misplace stuff or not be able to find it in your kit. So I like to make sure, without the expense of having too much weight, right? We're calculating that into the equation. But I want to make sure I at least have 2 good blades on me, and there's generally another one in my pocket because I carry a pocket knife as well. All right, guys, last but not least, the thing that holds it all together. I'm using a Timberhawk. It's like a modified chest rig waist pack. It goes over my shoulders, latches around my waist. It keeps everything really accessible and handy, and I can get to it. I found that it pairs really well with my day pack if I need to carry more gear or if I'm going longer distance. It's got a couple spots for water bottles or other gear I want to store in there if I'm not carrying my hydration bladder. I've got pockets here and here. I've got a couple extra calls in that one, locators like a crow call and a gobble call. In this side, I've usually got my baby wipes for obvious reasons, something we don't want to leave the truck without. So yeah, that's the pack breakdown, and we'll go over a few other considerations before we wrap it up. All right, guys, that's our gear breakdown for the 2025 season. A couple other considerations. Like I said, we're generally hunting pretty close to the truck. We keep a fully fleshed out first aid kit in there, including trauma kits, so seal bandages, tourniquets, quick clot. You never want to have an emergency out there and be an hour and a half away from the nearest hospital that may or may not be open like we were, without having the tools and or the training and abilities to take care of any problem that arises. So I highly suggest you invest in some training and a first aid kit that will suit your needs. Yeah, that's everything in my gear kit this year, my gear bag this year. I hope you guys enjoyed and gained something from this, and we'll see y'all in the woods.